Is it happening? How's it going, guys? Thanks, Adam. I'm glad that it's happening. I'm so happy to be here. I have never done a live stream before. But I feel like we're all doing a bunch of stuff we've never done before. So thanks for being here with me. Hi, Sharon. I'll play some songs I wrote. If you guys have requests, or, well, yeah, just if you have requests, I'm all ears. No guarantees. But I'll start with this one I wrote called "There's No Such Thing as a Bad Day." There's no such thing as a bad day. You got berry bushes and electric blankets. All of my friends are friends of friends, but I like them fine anyway. Yeah, I know a guy with nothing to do. He takes bottles of air to the bottom of the pool with a bag of weights from his workout room. I'm telling you, it's true. He says that down there he sees God, and God sees him. It's just good to be seen. I said I saw God in a milkshake once. That dude must get around. Yeah, there's no such thing as a bad day. You gotta feed the hope and starve the sorrow. I bought a Vitamix at Costco. Now there ain't nothing I can't whip. Or you can call a man a fool for making plans. I say get up and get out and get on getting what you can get while you can, 'cause I know what life looks like left to circumstance. And I know the guts it took to pay your money to play your hand and say there's no such thing as a bad day. The winter's coming and the dogs all know, so don't forget to get them breakfast, or that's Wolf there on your couch. And it's funny how the sweetest thoughts are whispered soft, but the bullshit screams from mountaintops. I know all about collusion, but I ain't talked to my mom in a month. So you can build your wall, build your bridge, a popsicle stick model of Carthage. I'm looking out for me and the penguins. I gotta smog my truck this week, 'cause I got places to be and people to be and too much to do on too little sleep. And even if I had a time machine, I wouldn't change much anything. Maybe just to go back 30 years and plant a tree, return to the present, take off next week, build a tree house for my kid. 'Cause I scratched a map into the sand of every place I've been before and swore I'd never go again. And as they rinsed away, I washed my hands. I want nothing of those second guesses coming home with me, so I left them floating nameless at the bottom of the sea. And if you see me looking back, sometimes it's just so I can laugh and sing there's no such thing as a bad day. Let me tell you what, guys. It is weird to play for you on the internet. I've been watching all my friends do it, and all my buds are like, I don't know, like introverts, or at least they pretend to be introverts, you know, songwriter types. And it's kind of fun to watch them in this format sort of squirm around a little bit, like the whole world has entered their personal space. You know, you guys are all able to look at their stuff. Yeah. But it's gonna be good. I'm gonna feel very comfortable by the end of this. I'm gonna feel so comfortable. This is a song I wrote, and it's a request from Adam Dawson, who was kind enough to set this up for me. And it's a true story, a true account of the first time I took a girl out in my Toyota pickup truck. I should also say, I'm open. If you guys are hearing everything okay, let me know. If you're not, let me know. I can adjust things somewhat, but if you're like a sound geek, just keep it to yourself. I don't really need to know about your frequencies and stuff. Just tell me if you can hear or not. Thank you. I sing a country song about a pickup truck and about a girl that I did not deserve. Back when I'd chase off angels and trust my luck, 'cause I had no idea what either one was worth. But first you should know I was a suburban kid. Bus tables in a strip mall diner 3 nights a week. She was a wild-eyed, shaved-head punk rock chick. It was a 1/4-ton truck, 2-wheel drive and Japanese. I was singing along to some radio song when I picked you up. Didn't even turn it down when you got in. It's hard not to think that you can do no wrong when you're 16 and somehow that's the way that it's always been. So you like punk rock? Well, I guess Green Day's cool. Talking at you through the window while I pump some gas. You didn't answer, but I saw you laughing in the side view. I didn't ask you what was funny, 'cause I was too busy being badass. We must have driven around that town 4 times that night, 'cause I didn't have a plan like I never do. And I'd spent all my tip money on a new tape deck, yeah. And my last little bit of grace just to be with you. Faded yellow and born October 82, just like me. With a cracked windshield, ripped up seats, and worn out rings. She coughed smoke in the cold, but she always warmed up fine. And looking back, she was looking better than me that night. I ran a red light to show off, but you weren't the only one who saw. A cop pulled me over right there on your block. He wrote me a 2-paycheck ticket, looked at you, leaned in, said, you might be wise to spend your time with someone other than him. And as he pulled off, you said you'd walk the rest of the way. For the first time that night, I had nothing cool to say, but I felt a thing I had never felt, and I've felt a lot since then. It wasn't guilt, shame, or regret, no, that was just a real life sinking in. I still drive that same old truck, the damn thing won't die. Sometimes I clean it up, take my girl out for a ride. Most times we talk, but sometimes we just look out quiet. I leave the radio off and stop at every light. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't, but if I had to, I'd play it straight. I would have told you I was sorry and made sure you got home safe. Some songs you sing to remind yourself of the people that you've been. Well, this one goes out to a guy I never want to be again. Oh, dude. Is that tea he's drinking? Yeah, it is. Let's see, I'll do something a little bit chill. Oh, I know what I'll do. Is that Kirkland's signature bubble water he's drinking? This is a love song. had written a lot of love songs on the acoustic guitar, and so I thought I wanted to write one that was more kick-ass. So I wrote it on this electric guitar. It seems more kick-ass, right? We were trying to retrace all the steps that brought us here. Costco returning diapers on Friday night. And you were laughing at the back of my membership card. A picture I remember taking, but I can hardly recognize. A full head of hair, not a touch of gray on it, and a smile half worn away by all the sawdust in my wallet. You said, I like you better now. All that hair just hid your face. Besides, you've always been this old, and now you just look your age. And you were colder back then, a little harder to start. The same way you grew into that nose, I guess you grew into your heart. And your face is etched with a purpose now that I don't see here in these eyes. Always a little more love and always a little less time. Friday nights come on faster now, and they just seem to flicker out. But there's a handful that I hold sacred and don't talk much about, for fear of how the static of today can swallow up all that magic from before, till it's all just the sound of silence on the intercom at the grocery store. But I remember you that summer night on the roof of my brother's house, laughing and talking and making love and dreaming out loud. And that same face bent with agony by the very root of our being. I was overcome by helpless reverence as our girl burst forth from Eden. And I felt the string thread through me from my father and my child, and saw it stretched back endless through a host of spirits lined up single file. And I can hear them whispering through the ether every time I'm looking in her eyes. Always a little more love and always a little less time. I heard a voice I knew from somewhere call out across the music wing. We were both signed up for theory, but man, we just like to sing. And your heart was broken glass, and your eyes were clear. Looked just like our daughter in 3 years. I started skipping class, and I'd wait for you across the hall. I remember feeling a little guilty, but just a little, and that was all. I didn't know all that we were starting. Truth is, I didn't know much. I was just a lucky fool falling backward and blind into something that would always hold me up. And so I guess that's always been the story of you and I. Always a little more love and always a little less time. Oh, I'll stay here. Oh, you guys are saying stuff and I can't see it. I'm so bad at this stuff. There's a list of things that you're saying, and I just noticed it right now. Well, whatever, bros and dudes. Hey Andrew, glad your family's watching. Hey Dave, I got your request, but that's old as shit. I can't play that. I don't remember it. Don't even recall the title. do this one instead. Oh, this is totally way more fun than I thought it was going to be, because you guys are like talking to me and I'm like, I can see it, you know? Like I can kind of see it. I need it to be way bigger. I don't know how to make that happen. Do you know what I do? Anybody? How do I make it like way bigger? Maybe if I drag it, can I like... No. Well, in any case, what I'm going to do right now is a song that I wrote about a guy who I'm in a songwriter group with, and he keeps forgetting the password to get into the Facebook page where you have to upload your song submission every month. And so he'll email me and say, hey Justin, I forgot the password again, so I guess I got to quit the group. And I've told that story at shows before, but I just wanted to say it here because I feel like now I can just say out loud that person is David Wilcox. He's the old person that doesn't know his password. I hope he's watching. His internet handle starts with Rupert, and so this is a song about Rupert. When Rupert quit the internet, it wasn't 'cause he wanted to, and it wasn't because of the politics. No, he just forgot his password. He swore he'd written it in a phone book. Under I for internet, or maybe P for password, or maybe S for something else. He went spinning around the Rolodex, and he dug through a drawer of rubber bands, and he flipped over every photo on the front of the fridge. Yeah, Rupert had one gold tooth that he hardly ever thought about, unless somebody said something funny. Somebody else was holding the camera, and they happened to know how to use it. Pull the focus and push the aperture. They knew the magic of the capture, and they knew the thrill of chasing light. Then that tooth shone from the back row, a singular constellation, having lived to tell the story of the day it met the sun. And on the top of the fridge was a flashlight that was always out of batteries, but he grabbed it out of habit as he shuffled off toward the basement. And that door swung into the darkness, and his feet fell soft like prayers, that the past is how he'd remembered it, that the next right thing is there. And as he descended into the stillness, into the smell of last year's rain, through the boxes packed up with past lives, never assembled so much as arranged, it came over him like a dull ache. It was foolproof, or so he thought, engineered to be unforgettable. Rupert's password was I forgot. That's a true story. I don't see what you're saying. Auntie T usually hates when people talk in the middle of a song, but that's like all I do, Auntie T. So right now you're in my backyard. This is we built a little shack in the backyard for me to do well, originally it was for my wife, but then I wound up stealing it from her. And so we're on stolen territory right now, in multiple ways. And I'm so happy to have it, because if we were in my house right now, it would just be insanity. There's a small child running around, probably naked, and there's two dogs that hump each other back and forth. Like, one's a girl and one's a boy, and it doesn't seem to matter which one at which point will be humping the other, but that's all they do all day, is they just swap humping positions. So that would be in this. Well, I guess it is in this now, because I just brought it up. But speaking of things on my property, there's a song I wrote about building the house that is behind me now. We bought this lot a long time ago now, 15 or so years now, maybe more, 16 years. And this is a song I wrote about building this house that we've been living in now for about a decade. Looking back, we probably should have bought some fixer-upper in a better part of town. Just a couple of rooms on a postage stamp with some fruit trees in the ground. I'm watching a full moon rise in a picture window that the architect advised against. And I can still see it hanging from a rusty old scaffold. Hold it while I nail it in. You said if the bubble's between the lines, it's level. If it's not, we'll call it art. I had a shiny new hammer and a first good look at what you can't see till you start. It's in my heart. Camping out in the kitchen by a halogen light, red stripe in a mini fridge. Somebody wake that fool up, tell him that he's never gonna be that free again. And when the blade slipped, what the radio played, where the blood rolled off my hands. A little bit scared, but a little bit laughing, back to work again. It's in my skin. There's a freeway that cuts this town in two, and on the day they laid it down, they knew it would. It's not the haves and the have-nots, it's the think-I-mights and the can-nots. It's hard to see it, but you know it when you do. And you and me living here doesn't make it any less true. Well, there's a crack in the driveway, the door needs paint, you can see it from the street. All the new is wearing off this place the same way it wore off of me. And now people say it must have been cool to have seen your whole house in a shopping cart, sure. But sometimes I wish I didn't know how easy the whole thing comes apart. It's in my heart. It's in my heart. It's in my heart. It's in my It occurred to me as I was playing that song that I really should have mentioned to you that I just finished making a CD, my first album in 25 years. I'm very proud of it, and it's been sent off for mastering, and it's the greatest work of art that's ever been made. So look forward to that. I'm gonna scroll down on your comments now because I want to see what you're saying. So I'm gonna get really close to you. Hey, Crystal! You guys are cool. How's it going, Crystal? I've been thinking about you guys. I feel like you're probably doing really well right now. You're like cooking hella organic stuff. Has like the perfect amount of salt in it. Like it's like dialed in. I want to make a quick note. I want to say, I think I have time to play basically one more song. But I just wanted to make a quick note to say thank you to Melissa from Americana Highways, who really helped put this together and helped me through some technical stuff today. Doing this is like, I think it's supposed to be easy, but it's actually, depending on how you do it, like super highly technical. And I'm like amazed by some of my songwriter friends and like speaking friends who are like kicking ass putting together these live streams that like look good and sound good. And some of these folks are super old and they're just knocking it out. So good on you. Good on Melissa for helping me get through this. I really appreciate the opportunity to play for you guys. I hope you're having a super great evening or late. I guess it's late for some of you. No, it's just nighttime for some of you. For us over here, it's like dinner time. So I hope you have a great dinner. I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna barbecue after this. Shut up, Joe. This will be my last song, and it's another true story song that I wrote about a friend of mine who grew up in a cult, and it's about him learning that he needed corrective lenses. And this is going to be on my new album. It's all recorded and everything. That's good enough for Facebook, as they say. Peter was a good boy, heard he'd always... Yes, hot dogs. Totally, hot dog. Yeah. Sorry, Auntie T, I did it again. Peter was a good boy, heard it always had been. Not that there was much of a choice those days. Son of a preacher in Louisiana's last dry parish. Petey always said please, always said grace. When the teacher called home in the middle of dinner, Mama went to sneak a pull off a cigarette, and Daddy scratched a number on the back of a Sears catalog with a scowl on his face that Petey'd never forget. Now yeah. The next morning, Mama took him to a new kind of doctor. You could keep your clothes on, put your toes on the line, and he couldn't even make out the top row. Petey hung his head low and Mama rubbed her eyes, 'cause he felt like a fool for what he couldn't see, and Mama felt like a fool for what she hadn't seen yet. And the doctor had seen it all 1,000 times, and he said, sure as you're born, we're gonna fix you up, no sweat. Look, my God's right on time. Surrender unto him your troubled minds. He will find the clear way through, and he will always circle back for you. And so it went that way for the rest of the school year. Petey with his brand new Coke bottle eyes, now clear as day, he could see them all laughing, sure as the wind blows sharp as a knife. And he started eating lunch at the last set of bleachers with a girl that he'd known from Sunday school, with a thicker pair of Coke bottle eyes of her own and a super secret sugar skull Sharpie tattoo. Whoop. Well, they were sitting together at the Friday night meeting, and the preacher was a ball of fire that night. He was speaking in tongues, he was calling out demons, he was looking for proof and running out of time, when he spotted their 4 eyes magnified and summoned them both to the altar to kneel, and with their knees hell-bent to the power of suggestion, pushed them to the floor and screamed, eyes be healed. He said, my God's right on time. Surrender unto him your weary eyes, and if he finds your faith is true, he will mend and give them back to you. Well, Petey never understood what his daddy'd meant when he'd said he was born to believe, till he was laying on the floor of the Roseboro Tabernacle looking at Daddy's feet. And when he stood up in front of God and everyone all wondering what they'd just seen, and he opened up his mouth before he'd known that it was gonna speak. Hallelujah. And so it went that way for the rest of the summer. Petey squinting and believing that the devil was gone. And he threw his glasses in the Ouachita River, and he kissed that girl and she kept hers on. And school started in, didn't take long. Petey knew in his gut that something wasn't right. He got thinking maybe faith is a measure of how well you know something's wrong and keep it inside. Till the teacher called home in the middle of dinner. Mama went to sneak a pull off a cigarette, and Daddy went for his belt to teach Pete the kind of lesson that you might live down, but you never forget. Petey kicked out his chair, stood up at the table, knowing that he'd already gone too far. He said, some things I don't have to squint to see, and I'm starting to think I know who you are. He said, my God's right on time. He knows who I am and he don't mind. So go on, do what you're gonna do. But we both hear the same bell tolling. The apple fell and now it's rolling. My God makes the way and he sees me through. Thanks so much, everybody. I hope you have a great night. Sleep good. That's it. The new Rayleigh's on Freeport is pretty sweet, and they had a deal on boxed wine, so that's what's up. Good night, guys.